Lads and lasses, it's came to an end. At the end of this season, Kieran Trippier will be leaving Newcastle United. And I've got to say, thank you to Kieran Trippier for everything he's done for Newcastle United in the years that he has been here. He came to Newcastle United when we were literally staring a relegation in the face. And he came to us from the Spanish champions, Atletico Madrid. He was part of the team of the year as well in that time when he came to Newcastle United. He was the first guy to buy into the vision under the Saudi owners, Reuben brothers, and Amanda Staveley and Medad Qudsi, who were here at the time. And I've got to say, he's done a lot of really great stuff here, and we will always remember Kieran Trippier for what he's done for Newcastle United. He has been a loyal servant on the pitch and off the pitch. Even when he was injured, he was still going and travelling with the team to games on crutches with a leg in the cast. This guy epitomises what it means to be, a Newcastle United player. He gets the club. He, understands us fans. And that is what, you always want from a captain. And yes, he's not the captain, this season because that is Bruno. But he is the vice captain. And even, when he wasn't captain at the beginning of the club, when he came in, he was the guy that was there to lead the club on and off the pitch, a vocal voice in the dressing room for Newcastle United. And like I say, we'll always remember what Kieran Trippier did at Newcastle United in some of his crowning moments. The goal against Man City, just absolutely brilliant goal. The way he just took the free kick over the wall, something that, of course, we will always remember. The Wembley, of course, final against Liverpool, Kieran Trippier and what he did in that game for us as well. And winning, the first trophy since 1969 for Newcastle United alongside, Jamal Lascelles and, of course, Bruno to be the captains to lift that first trophy for us since 1969 is a huge, huge feat. So we will always remember Kieran Trippier. But it is time, unfortunately, now after, 150 plus appearances for Newcastle United, 2 Champions League campaigns and 2, back-to-back, 2, League Cup finals. It is time for Kieran Trippier at the end of this season to, of course, depart from Newcastle United. But it is sad. It is, something that we don't want to see, but it is unfortunately something that we do have to see if we want to progress forward as a club. Kieran Trippier leaves as a legend. He's took us from the brink of, championship football where we would have been going down there to the heights of that European football and Wembley glory. We've got 7 games left in this campaign to give him the send-off he absolutely deserves. And, let's just make sure that St James's Park is an absolute cauldron of noise, as I'm sure it will be. Let's just give these lads, who I'm sure Kieran Trippier won't be the only one that's departing this season from the Newcastle United squad. I've got a horrible and sad feeling that we are probably going to see the end of Fabian Shaw this season as well, which is a huge, huge thing to have to see. So, considering how long, Fabs has been here, he was here, under Rafa Benitez. He was a Rafa Benitez signing for $3.5 million. And when you consider what he's done for Newcastle United in the time since Benitez bought him and since Benitez has left, of course, Newcastle United, Fabian Shaw has been, for me, the pound-for-pound best, centre-back there is out there, and the best signing that, we've made in a long, long time. Well, before, with both Bruno and Trippier in, and, of course, it will be sad, but I'm sure we'll probably be seeing Fabs go at the end of this season. I could be wrong on that, of course, but I think Kieran Trippier is only the start of the players that we are going to be seeing depart, of course, come the end of this season. So let us know your thoughts. As always, hit like, share, subscribe to the channel, and as I say, thank you to Kieran Trippier for his service for Newcastle United. He has been a commendable player for us, and he will always be welcome back on Tyneside whenever he wants to come back here. You know, he's done a lot for us, and he will always have the respect from us Geordies. Until next time, see you in the next one, and how well lads.